All right, guys, welcome, welcome. I'm Cam. Welcome to a little exploration into Yoga Nidra. I see Patricia and Jenny there. Hey, yeah, knowing you guys from my yoga practice, it's wonderful to have you on and taking this little journey into Yoga Nidra with me. So we've got about the next 45 minutes together. I'll just get the tilting of my glasses so I don't blind you. Yeah, cool. So you guys know who I am, but for those of you that don't know me, my name's Cam. I'm an experienced registered yoga teacher, YT 500 plus. So basically, what that means is that I've been teaching for over 5,000 hours of live classes, over 500 hours of ongoing training. Been a yoga practitioner for over nearly 30 something years now, and I've been practicing meditation since I was about 7. As a young guy, I learned meditation and as something that we did at the end of a martial arts class with my taekwondo instructor. And then come into my teens, I started exploring it a little bit deeper with the effects of broken hearts leading me to feeling pretty, shattered. I'm an adopted guy, so for me, it just kind of rocked me. It was a bit of core belief stuff. So I used meditation to help get me a little bit more in tune with my feelings. And then in my early 20s, I head off to Byron Bay and lived for about 6 months in this mate of mine's bus, lots of surfing, and that's when I discovered Yoga Nidra. And so Yoga Nidra was a really important instrumental tool into creating the next part of my life that I wasn't aware of yet, but I was told at this Tantra workshop that it was extremely powerful, and that if I was to practice it regularly and incorporate it with, setting goals and my sankalpa and my intention, that it would help change and revolutionize my life, which it did. So during my practice of Yoga Nidra. So as a young guy, I think it was about 21 when I first started doing this stuff, I had a lot of goals and ambitions to be in the music industry. And so part of my Sankalpa, or my present tense intention, which I'm going to take you guys through a little bit later in the workshop, was to be best MC in the world and travel all around the world with my music. It was to be, having my voice on international records and create profound change for people and awareness with my music. And so after the practice, 2-3 years after this practice, I'd reconnected with my music. I'd started touring all around the world with my music, and there came a point where I looked on this flyer, and it was some of my mentors in the music industry saying that we think Cam is, one of the best MCs in the world. So I realized at that point, kind of the penny dropped, and I was like, something really powerful happened with all of that intention setting and that Sankalpa setting that I did back in Byron Bay. And then I realized the real power of Yoga Nidra. So, it is a big part of my practice, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys today. So that's kind of my personal effects and the way I've used it. So I've broken the workshop up into a little bit about the history, the science of the practice, and I'm going to share my screen now so that you can check out the document that I've got prepared for you. So here we are. Doo-doo-doo. Cool. So welcome to the workshop. And what is Yoga Nidra? So starting with what it is, yoga meaning union and Nidra meaning sleep or yogic sleep or yogic rest is the best way to describe what Yoga Nidra is. It's different than visualization, it's different than hypnosis, and I'll explain a bit more about why in a minute. The main thing about Yoga Nidra that it's really important to share is that it's a state of natural awareness that you have, that your brain has. And we all have this available to us. It's just through the practice, the 9-step process that I'm going to show you later on, we can self-induce that state of awareness. So a little bit about the history and where it came from that relates to this definition, which is the place where all was born, the seat of creation. So some of the oldest Vedas, so Indian poems or Indian scripts, the Mahabharata, the great book of Indian awareness, they mention the state of Yoga Nidra, and that can go back to like 5,000 years BC. So some of the earliest tantric origins and the mantras referring to different parts of the body or states or observations of this state of Yoga Nidra go back centuries. Then it started to become a little bit more written down and referred to indirectly through the, and I'll just show you this little diagram here, through some of the Vedic scripts, as I was saying, and spoken more directly to with the union between Brahma and Vishnu, and from Vishnu's belly button in the Hindu philosophy, this lotus of life was born, and it was through the process of Yoga Nidra, this aware dreaming state, that all of creation was born. So it suggests through some of these writings that the universe was born from a state of Yoga Nidra, which is a lovely little analogy that I like to refer to. Where we know Yoga Nidra these days sort of arose around the early 1900s. So the first teacher known to specifically be teaching Yoga Nidra, Bhagwan Sridip Narayan Prabhuji, he developed and passed it down, and this evidence was taught since the 1880s. Yoga in Daily Life, his school, and then the Satyananda School of Bihar, School of Yoga, did the first scientific teaching and research into the brain studies, which is why I reference this book here as the main script that I refer to my understandings and my teachings. That was where my teachings of Yoga Nidra came from Swami Satyananda Saraswati. So he was a sannyasa and yoga teacher and guru, both his native India in the West, and he was a student of Shivananda Saraswati, the founder of the Divine Life Society, and also the founder of the Bihar School of Yoga in 1964. So Satyananda combined old historical understanding, medieval observations, and the modern psychology like positive thinking, autogenic training, which is like the body scan stuff that came out of late 1800s positive psychology, brain studies, later in the late 60s around Yoga Nidra. And that's why I refer to this book, because it's the culmination of traditional studies and understandings through the Vedic texts, and then it goes into the sort of medieval understandings where it became more of a practice, and people spoke to it through the Hatha Yoga Pradipika and some of those studies indirectly as the result of some of the practice. And it was later developed into this systematic training that could be very easily systematically taught, passed on. And it was kind of a combination of, positive psychology as well as the understanding of, all of that traditional basis. So that being said, let's have a chat about the I'll just read you through this part. Yoga Nidra, ancient practice originating from India. Roots can be traced back to Sankhya philosophy. So first written down around 700 to 1000 BC, and the Mahabharata, which is thousands of years old. In the next part says here, Yoga Nidra continues to evolve. Clinical psychologist Dr. Richard Miller has developed the iRest system of Yoga Nidra as a therapeutic practice in settings such as hospitals, prisons, clinics for war veterans. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But let's talk about what it does. So Yoga Nidra affects the brain. So Yoga Nidra and the motor homunculus, or the little man, is what we're referring to when we go through the process of Yoga Nidra. You can see this little diagram here, and it's like a little human. It's got all these little different body parts through the motor and the sensory map parts of our brain. And when we go through the Yoga Nidra process, all of those little parts of the body, or the motor homunculus, or the little man, they all start to light up in a sequence, and then they trigger the letting go response. So Satyananda Saraswati noticed when he was sleeping next to where the monks would do the chants at night when he was a young man, that when it came to the part of his training with his guru, that he would recite the poems and learn the poems. He said to his guru, I already know these poems. Like, he didn't directly study them, but he was sleeping next to the place where those poems were recited every night. And so his teacher said, yeah, your bones hear the prayers and your bones listen, and that's how you absorb it. You absorb it through Yoga Nidra. So that really sparked his inquiry, and later on in his studies and his teachings at his school, he mentored a young Korean boy through Yoga Nidra and taught him the Bible, the Quran, English, Hindi, Sanskrit, and now as an adult, he speaks over 11 languages. So Yoga Nidra, not just for the process of letting go, relaxation or therapeutic, it was also to learn stuff and to observe and to absorb new information. So Yoga Nidra affects this hypnagogic state. I'm going to read it directly for you from the book. This is my transcript that I speak directly to. And so, speaking about the motor homunculus, or the little man, so researchers have named this neural map or hologram of the physical body existing within the cerebral white matter the motor homunculus, or the little man. All the body parts through which the awareness passes during rotation of consciousness can be located here. For example, right hand thumb, second finger, third finger, etc., etc. However, in terms of the brain tissue, importance has been placed upon hands, fingers, lips, nose, which occupy areas far in excess of the relative size and dimension of those parts in the physical body, and in these same areas which receive added emphasis during the rotation of consciousness in Yoga Nidra. These areas are almost as large as the space allotted to the entire remainder of the body, from the wrists and the toes. Physical standards, the motor homunculus is a little man of grotesque proportions with enormously large hands, fingers, and facial features. He exists as a neural abstraction of the physical body and operation of the realm of neurotransmission and conscious electrical energy flowing throughout the nervous system and the network of the nadis, which form the pranic body. So it goes on to say here, the experience of relaxing or release or letting go as a spontaneous disassociation from consciousness from the sensory and the motor channels of experience occurs. Familiarity and daily repetition of this sequence exerts rapid in-turning effect upon the normally fragmented and dissipated awareness. This state of withdrawal of sense consciousness, pratyahara, is enumerated by Patanjali as the fifth stage of Raja Yoga and the prelude to dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So in that regard, the actual science of this process takes you into that fifth inward turning or pratyahara experience. So for people that are traumatized, affected by PTSD and these type of things, it really helps with that letting go experience, so that then they can get past the cognitive blocks that are standing between them and the relaxation and the letting go that they're kind of seeking there. So yeah, moving on, if we just go down here a little bit, this shows us the actual states of consciousness. So what you'll notice here, I've just written a little bit between the differences between yoga nidra and hypnosis. So hypnosis isolates the brain from sensory input. Yoga nidra does not availing more stimuli and more brain receptivity. Hypnosis requires the use to follow suggestions of the voice. Nidra is the user's suggestions and the suggested outcomes. So what that means is basically yoga nidra and hypnosis start by going into the same parts of brain awareness, and then hypnosis goes left and implants ideas that aren't yours into your consciousness, whereas yoga nidra, you as the practitioner come up with your sankalpa and you place them there, and you're just following the voice that guides you through that journey through the homuncular motor, as well as going into visualizations, sensory awareness. So that's a bit of a different sort of trip that yoga nidra goes into. We're going into physical sensory awareness through things like opposites, and then this visualization process, so that you can really implant your sankalpa deep into your subconscious mind. So if you have a look on this little diagram here, awake conscious mind is your beta brainwave patterns, so sensory awareness, external knowledge, etc. Yoga nidra happens in the superconscious mind, so hypnagogic, or he calls it hypnagogic state, which I think is pretty cute. So that's that borderline between awake and sleep. So when I go into yoga nidra, I find that my body goes into a very deep relaxation, but my mind is hyper awake. It's almost like I'm observing it. If anyone's done or had the experience of astral traveling or an outer body experience where you kind of, your consciousness shifts and you're observing your body, it's a very similar place where that happens. So that's when deep relaxation, visionary states, conscious dreaming, archetypal imagery, all that type of stuff occurs around about that stage in the alpha brain waves, 8 to 12 CPS. And then dreaming state occurs in the subconscious mind, the theta brainwave patterns. So release of emotions, suppressed fears and desires. And then the deep sleep, the unconscious mind, the delta, awakening of instincts and primitive drives. So that's how, or where yoga nidra affects the states of the brain, the brainwave patterns. So benefits of yoga nidra. This is a really simple one, simple diagram why I'm sharing it. So yoga nidra benefits, helps relieving muscular, emotional, mental tension. Yoga nidra relaxes the mind by relieving stress and anxiety, treats insomnia, psychological disorders, and psychosomatic diseases, trains the mind and helps enhancing memory and increasing learning capacity. Yogic sleep also results in increased energy levels. It heals endocrinal imbalances and ensures optimal functioning of the endocrine system. Yoga nidra not only detoxifies the body, but it also clears out the subconscious. So it works to help release like a drain for your subconscious. Improves creativity. I completely verify this. I do a short yoga nidra before any of my songwriting. And honestly, if I'm disciplined to do that process, by the time my pen finishes on the page, the song is correct every time. I don't have to rewrite it. I don't have to redraft it. And when I record it into my microphone, it just works. So it's amazing if you're a creative person to help get past those cognitive blocks. Leads to improved senses, more cultivated body awareness. Yoga nidra restores the mind and the body and leads to restructuring the whole personality from within. So big stuff. I rest goes on. So I've got this little bit to show you here. Integrative Restoration, or irest.org. If you want to know more about the evolution of yoga nidra, this website goes into it beautifully. You can sign up, there's trainings, there's all that stuff there, and programs that you can do. And to speak briefly, basically, iRest was developed by the American military, amongst others. They have lots and lots of money to throw at scientific research, and they did vast amount of scientific research around Yoga Nidra and the science behind it. So they've taken that and they've evolved it into their own modality, which is called iRest. Follows very similar processes as your Yoga Nidra, but a lot of the yogic concepts and words have been removed to make it more available for the Western mind, and has a vast amount of success in rehabilitating PTSD and restoring a sense of wholeness. They use it for learning, relaxation, stress management, stress-related physical problems, insomnia, just to name a few. You can just Google the benefits. They go on. I have used it for multiple reasons, including creation of my like deep creation of my goals and the new steps of my life that I haven't created yet, which I'm going to guide you guys through a short process of how to do that shortly. And beyond that, I've used it daily for relaxation. When I used to manage yoga studios, and I was doing something crazy like being there at 5 in the morning and finishing locking the doors at 8:30 at night, sometimes 9 at night, and then jumping on the computer and doing the laptop warrior stuff all day. I would use it in the middle of the day, a 15-minute yoga nidra, and that would give me that perk up of rest and relaxation that I needed to get me back into staying focused for the rest of the day. So really useful daily tool. I've got some links for you as well. So if you jump on my new website here, so yogicam.com.au, and there's a little bit down here to sign up. You can sign up to my newsletter, and I've got some short practices that I've recorded, including the one that'll be up today, and that'll be available on the Happiness Planner website, as well as my YouTube and through my online programs, which I'll talk more about later. So just before we get into it, the 9 stages of Yoga Nidra, and this is really important to discern the difference between whether you're having just a lovely relaxation guided visualization with somebody and whether it's a trained Yoga Nidra. Now, there is some differences. Some schools teach 12 steps, some schools teach 9, others teach 10. I'm going with this one because this is, of course, referring strictly to my teacher on this. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it as close to the tradition with this, for that main reason. That's where my teaching comes from, and that's really the only reason I've had best success with this particular formula personally. So stage 1, setting in an initial relaxation intro. So it's really important that you get relaxed into a shavasana position. So some people like to do Yoga Nidra sitting up. So they do it seated and they lean up against the wall because you can, accidentally fall asleep and fall over. I like to do it lying down with a bolster underneath my knees, so that then it's just a really nice neutral position for the spine. The danger of doing it lying down is that you can fall asleep. So the idea is to not fall asleep during the practice. Stage 2, internalization, gross subtle. So pratyahara, I will guide you through turning your senses inward. So we start with the gross, sending your awareness out as far as you can into the distance, and then bringing it in through different senses, usually just using the hearing and listening to the distance and listening closer is one of the better techniques. It's just one of the easiest techniques there. The stage 3, the sankalpa or affirmation. Now, sankalpa and affirmation are different. I'll talk more to explain this in a minute, but basically sankalpa, positive present tense statement. Affirmation might be something you want to affirm in your life, like a short affirmation, but the wording is really important. So getting very clear that it's positive and present tense is really important to training the subconscious mind, because subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between past, present, and future. It just goes with the now. And so communicating to it, you have to make it positive and present tense. And I'll expand on that in a sec. Stage 4, body rotation. So the rotation of consciousness, keeping pace with the voice, don't run ahead, lag behind. So 3 parts to this: stay awake, listen to the voice, and move your awareness with the instructions. So try to just stay in the present with that. And it's pretty easy because it's a faster moving type of part of the process, which is useful. And the specific pattern of movements is important to stimulate the motor homunculus, as we mentioned before. Breath and energy awareness to deepen the physical release. So pranayama is a wonderful way to trigger the parasympathetic nerve system into relaxing deeper. And by doing that, the brain goes with it. Brain, body, mind, all things are connected, so that when we relax them consciously with the breath, we can become more receptive to what it is that we're placing. Stage 6, the opposites, to assist the relaxation of the emotional body. So without going into depth into the 5 koshas, the layers of the body, the mental body, emotional body, spiritual body, etc., 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 without going into that in depth, we are relaxing the emotional body with the use of opposites. The visualization is designed to grow in concentration of your dharana. What are you trying to create? So any positive life coach will take you through a really similar process of doing this. They've just extrapolated it from things like Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra, this particular format, they extrapolated that from late 1800s positive psychology. So, this wasn't a big part of the process up until the 1800s. So you've got to remember, this is, the yogis have learned from the West as well. And then stage 8, we revisit the Sankalpa, or the affirmation, while we're in that beautiful, relaxed, open place. And then we go into externalization, which is quite a quick process of coming back into the body, so you can go on life again with this new revitalized perspective and energy. So sounding good? Let's get into the actual doing of the thing, right? So this is my Sankalpa creation sheet. So the intention develops into the resolve of the or your Sankalpa. So as opposed to wishing for earthly things, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I want a new car, I want a new house, those type of ideas. It's got to be something that is kind of like a deeper desire. And the recommendation when creating your resolve or your Sankalpa is look for something that not only is going to serve you, but serves the greater good on a whole. Now, this is one of the main differences between your iRest and your Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra still comes into that idea that we're wanting to be of service to our fellow men. So here's my suggestion. If you want to create, for example, you're running out of money and you want to create more money in your life, rather than just making it the earthly wish for money, looking at the global, what would benefit you and all the people around you and yourself and your gift back to life, I would recommend making it something like, I am abundant in all things, in all my needs. Because if you're abundant in all your things and all your needs, you can offer more back to life. You're more available to your family and to your friends and to your partners, and you can give more back to life. It's becoming less selfish in this part of the process is highly recommended, because I don't know if you've ever heard of that thing, be careful what you wish for, you might just get it. I've experienced that. I experienced that with my Yoga Nidra, where I had these very earthly markers of what I thought success was, right? I achieved it. That was wonderful. But how it felt when I got there, my intention for making those goals or ideas was coming from a very young perspective. Now, I thought that having success in that world would somehow make me feel whole. And when I got there, I'd achieved those things, but I felt hollow. So I had this epiphany, this mind-opening epiphany, that I had to be of more service. And that's one of the reasons I'm a yoga teacher. But my advice to you on making your Sankalpa or your resolve, make it something that is something close to your heart, but also avails you to be more available to the world. That's what I'd recommend. And it recommends it in the book as well. So, what inside yourself do you want to develop, grow, or be? So, that's a good question. And you can ask yourself that question now. And you can revisit this video to do this practice a little bit more because we are running a bit short on time. So, I'm going to continue moving on through. So, if you wanted to put down on a pen and paper now, what inside yourself do you want to grow, develop, or be? The next part is how much do you value achieving it? So if your intention resolve is very big, what's the first step? And so this can be an intention. So that's two parts. How much do you value achieving it? So if it's of real high value to it, there's no how that you can't do. So you'll be able to go and achieve and make it happen with a lot more intensity if it's something that's really of high value, means a lot to you. So, just making it kind of a flippant without having any thought behind, or without having any sort of meditation around it, is not recommended. Going with something that's like really close to your heart. And I sort of shifted my Sankalpa when I had that penny drop years later to I just want to have loving relationships. I want loving relationships in my life. And so the Sankalpa of writing that down, positive and present tense was needed. So instead of I want loving relationships in my life, which means I'm communicating to my subconscious that I'm always wanting those things, I had to change the wording, which is really important, to I have loving relationships in my life. I have loving relationships in my life. And that's communicating to my subconscious that it is a reality that is happening now. And that's transpired. And that's one of the gifts that has allowed me to be married. So if your intentional resolve is very big, so if you've got these like giant grandiose dreams that the universe has gifted you, you want to change the world with whatever it is that you're doing, perhaps the first step, if you're suddenly getting this spark of inspiration, it's like, I want to heal people with psychotherapy, then your Sankalpa would be maybe your intention might be your first step, like, I'm going to call the university today and apply. Do you know what I mean? So whereas the idea behind making a Sankalpa is that you want to keep it as simple and as clear until it's actually happened. So that's the indicator with your Sankalpa. You practice your Yoga Nidra as regularly as you can. They say about 33 days to create a new habit. So I recommend 33 days and then see how it's going in your life. But the idea is with your Sankalpa, positive present tense statement that we hold consciously until it's achieved. So you don't do Yoga Nidra with all these different intentions that you put in there all the time. Just keep it the same one. Keep it simple. So one that I used was, I am of full abundance in all things. I am of full abundance in all things. And by doing that, it allowed me to find the practice of contentment in myself a lot more, allowed me to be okay with less. But then conversely, as a yoga teacher, I remember looking back at one stage and going, oh man, I've got more money in the bank than when I was a full-on, practicing musician. I mean, granted, I gave up drinking and all those sort of things that were draining my bank account. So, I was pretty lucky. But at the same time, it came to fruition. So it worked. So there we go. Can you create an intention today, or a Sankalpa, even better, positive present tense statement? You can pause the video and get yourself set, write it down on a piece of paper, just like I've done there. And then we can do the practice. So if you don't have one today and you just want to experience the practice, I'm going to take you into a practice now. Then what I would recommend is just go with letting go. I am letting go. I am letting go, or I have let go, even better. The more you can sutrify or shorten it to make it more present tense, more positive, more effective it is. And you really feel it on an energetic level when it becomes really simple and clear as well. It feels like it sort of drops in the belly and really sits in there really nicely. So yeah, lean into your intuition on that one. So I am going to just show you, I've got a couple of links there. The iRest one, yogicam.com.au, that's me, the website. The other thing I'll show you before we get into the practice is a new website I've made here, the Foundation Method. So this takes you through all of my online teachings. And if you jump onto foundationmethod.com, it's got a lovely little intro video, a little bit about me, and then I answer 6 of the biggest problems and give you some high quality solutions that stand between you and your wellness journey. So if you're interested, jump online there. There's a couple of nice little testimonials and all that sort of thing, and then the options to get into the practice. So if you're interested, yeah, send us a message through the website or through yogicam.com.au. So let's do it, guys. So I'll get you to either find a nice seated position, which you can hold for the next 10 or so minutes. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to start sharing just a little bit of music for background music so that we have something nice and relaxing there going in the background. There we go. Awesome. So I'm going to take you through the practice, the short class transcript as it is written, with some of my own interpretations over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So finding a nice seated position or Shavasana for this next part of the practice. So preparing for Yoga Nidra. Eyes are closed, body is still. The mind is in a mood to relax, and you're not trying to concentrate. Make no effort to control the mind. You are practicing Yoga Nidra. Become aware of your whole body. You are lying in a beautiful room with other people on the same mental level, or by yourself. If you are with people, almost everyone is emitting the same frequency vibration. The whole atmosphere is charged with one powerful vibration. In this atmosphere, you are lying on your mat and your body is still. So starting to settle in, close down the eyes. Take a big belly breath in. Hold it. Open the mouth and let it just fade away. One more like that. Big belly breath in. Hold it. And let it go. The sound of your breath is rhythmic and slow. Your body is in a state of relaxation. And now think to yourself, I am going to practice Yoga Nidra. I am going to stay awake. I am listening to the instructions. Constant communication is taking place between the instructor and myself. I can hear the sounds of his voice. We are connected. One transmitter, many receivers. At this point, remember your Sankalpa. It's a resolution. You don't have to make it now, but if you have one, repeat it to yourself 3 times with total clarity, with awareness. And if you're not settled on one today, you could just say, I am relaxed. I am letting go. I am relaxed. I am letting go. So keep on listening to me. And as we go through the practice, no real need to do intense concentration or analyze anything. As we say, the different parts of the body, just take your awareness to that part of the body. Starting with the right hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, ankle, heel, top of the foot, sole of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the fifth toe. Now going to the left hand side. Come on where the left hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, ankle, heel, top of the foot, sole of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the fifth toe. To the back of your body, back of the head, the neck, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, right buttock, left buttock, right heel, left heel, the whole of the spine together. Now to the front of the body, top of the head, forehead, right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, middle of the eyebrow, right eye, left eye, right nostril, left nostril, whole nose, right cheek, left cheek, upper lip, lower lip, both lips together, chin, neck, right collarbone, left collarbone, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, middle of the chest, navel, upper abdomen, lower abdomen, right leg, right arm, left arm, whole of the head together, the whole body together. Feel your whole body as one. Becoming aware of the body lying on the floor and the points of contact between your body and the floor. Noticing the breathing as it gently passes in and out through the nostrils. Counting back from 27 to 1, the process goes 27, breath comes in, 27, breath goes out, 26, breath comes in, 26, breath goes out. And if you lose count, just go back to 27 and continue counting back from 27 to 1. Slowly let go of the counting and bring into your body the sensation of heaviness. Feel your whole body as if it was made of lead, sinking into your yoga mat or through the floor. So heavy that you couldn't lift a finger if you wanted. And now bring into the body the sensation of lightness, as light as a feather. The slightest breeze would blow you away, like little bubbles of effervescence traveling through your spine, floating you high in the clouds. Bring into your body the sensation of coldness, cold like a winter's night, so cold it chills the bones. Bring into your body the sensation of heat, like a hot summer's day lying on the beach in the sun. Hot, warm sun, heat through the body. And letting go of the sensations. Visualize a picture frame sitting in front of you. And that blank picture frame brings images. They come and they go. The first is a red-based triangle, upside down. Orange sun, a yellow pyramid, a green star, a crescent moon on a blue sky, an indigo eye, a many-petal flower, color is violet. And now see from this blank canvas, the image start to appear. And in that image, you can see yourself. What is surrounding you, as this image is a picture of you with your sankalpa having come true. So what are the images, what are the things in this picture you need to see to know that it is true, that it has come to you? And as the picture starts to get more detailed, lean in until your awareness melts into the picture and you are seeing from this picture all of those things that you need to know the sankalpa has come 100% true. Feel how it feels to live this sankalpa. What do you say? Repeat to your mind's eye 3 times with total awareness. Whatever your sankalpa or intention is, 3 times. And so it is, so it was, so it will be. Slowly let go and start to reconnect the breath to the body. Gently wriggle the fingers, twinkle the toes. Take a nice big breath in, a big stretch like a morning yawn. And then slowly make your way up into a comfortable seat. So the process of Yoga Nidra is now complete, and you can revisit the video and use that recording if you wish, or if you wish to, you can sign up to yogicam.com.au, and I'll be emailing out a short version of the Yoga Nidra recording for you to use in your home practice, as well as there's links there to the long version on my YouTube. And I'll be talking more to this practice in my Foundation Method course, foundationmethod.com as well. So if anyone has any questions or anything like that that I can help out with, feel free if you'd like to send me a message, or we can wrap it up now. And I'll just turn the music off. There we go. And I'll stop that one there. And I'll just revisit the document that I had there. Actually, no, the websites, there we go. So yeah, this will be available on the Happiness Planners website in the next few weeks. Also, the live stream should be available for replay there on Facebook, yogicam.com.au for all of my stuff, and you can sign up there. Or if you want to have a look at the online programs that I'm offering at foundationmethod.com, which gives you a much deeper insight into yogic practices and how-to solving some of the most common problems that you have on your wellness journey, and then irest.org if you'd like to see more about the science of Yoga Nidra. And that's it for me and today, unless anybody has anything. Thanks, Jenny. Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks from Mexico. Thanks, Patty. Good to see you. Hopefully I'll see you in class soon, but absolute pleasure. And it's always lovely to share something that is a big part of my why I do what it is that I do. And I hope you get even an inkling of benefit that I've had over the years, because it certainly has helped change my life and been a big part of my wellness journey. So thank you very much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. And hopefully I will see you in the not distant future. Thanks, guys.